Kare Shalom, welcome to our watercolor journey. Today's tutorial will show you how to create movement in your painting. The materials used are listed in the description below. On the palette we have yellow ochre, umber, burnt sienna, Prussian blue, neutral tint and French ultramarine. The sketch is available, just click on the link below. The Canson paper is taped to a flat board and Heinrich uses a Herend No. 3 flat brush to wet the background. The flat brush isn't very wide, so he can easily get into the little nooks and crannies of the sketch. Make sure the paper is very wet, as the entire background is done wet in wet. The soft haziness of the background will help the bird box and the birds to stand out nicely. You can use masking fluid to paint the outline of the birds and the box to prevent you from painting over them. He starts off with a generous helping of yellow ochre. The colors will fade when dry, so don't be shy to use a fairly strong pigment mix. Vary the strength of the pigment here so that it is not a consistent yellow wash. This will also help to create the illusion of movement. He dips the brush in water every now and again to help him to spread the paint more unevenly, and you can also see that the brush strokes are all over the place. All of this is to help to enhance the movement in the background. He uses the same brush to add umber and burnt sienna to the background, still working wet in wet. He draws the lines in random directions and he varies the width of the strokes. This will resemble a wheat field. He changes to the W&N Professional Rigger No. 1 to draw in more prominent lines with umber to resemble wheat stalks. The paper is still wet, so the brown strokes will be fuzzy and they will dry back into the soft background. He rinses the brush and dabs it on a paper towel, then lifts out some areas to create more variation in the background. Let the background dry. The bird box has a weathered look. He will use all the colors on the palette to create this effect. He mixed French ultramarine and burnt sienna for the grayish black. You can add the colors in any way you wish. The blues and browns will create a rustic look. He uses the Rosemary and Kolinsky Sable No. 4 round for the smaller spaces, and he will use the Herend flat brush where he can make broader strokes. Use broken lines and vary the pigment strength to create the weathered look. Allow the painting to dry after you've painted each panel if you want to keep the sharp edges. If you want to let the colors fuse into each other some more, you can keep going. A shadow is never just black. Shadows sometimes reflect the surrounding colors, and they also absorb the colors in the vicinity. If you use black to paint the shadows, it would look flat and dead. Mix your own black, like Heinrich did here with French Ultramarine and burnt Sienna, or use Payne's Grey for your blacks. He used mainly Prussian Blue for the bird box. Prussian is a cooler blue than French Ultramarine. He will use French Ultramarine for the birds. Using the different blues will help the bird box to recede with a cooler Prussian, and the birds will come forward and stand out because of the warmer French Ultramarine. Try to use all the colors you placed into the wheat field also on the bird box. This will bring harmony into your painting, as it will help to link all the elements. Let the painting dry. He uses the Rosemary & Co. No. 2 brush to wet the back of the first bird, and then he uses French Ultramarine to paint the back. He adds a touch of the greyish-black mix for the shadow lines, wet in wet, to allow the colors to fuse into each other. He uses the two blues, the grey mix and the neutral tint to paint the birds. Here you can use your own discretion and add colors as you see fit. Try to preserve some of the white of the paper for highlights in the wing. If you find that difficult, you can add highlights later using white gouache or white acrylic. Let the painting dry. He uses the same process for the second bird. The wild look of the feathers on this bird also helps to create movement. If you paint it too precisely, it will look stagnant. Vary between the values. Make some areas a bit darker and others lighter. The two birds show completely different motions. The painting technique differs a little with each. The bird on the left is more detailed as it is closer to the viewer, and the impression is that it is coming in to land. The bird on the right is in full flight. The feathers are moving in the wind, and the looser painting style here makes them look fluffy and ruffled. The colors are also less vibrant in the bird on the right. This helps to make it look further away. build the values to create deeper shadows and a bit more detail. Please like and subscribe if you've enjoyed the video, and let us know in the comments if you found these tips and techniques helpful. You are welcome to share your paintings with us on Instagram. Thank you for watching. We hope to see you soon. Vaya con Dios.